Good afternoon and welcome to TalkSports. It is our weekend program, or Saturday Sports Special to be exact. And on this weekend's program, we have a very exciting program, right? As we said, two of Grenada's finest basketballers in current times, right, are on our program this weekend. As a matter of fact, we become royalty, right? Enel and Akinde Redhead. You'll be hearing those names from now until I don't know when, but those two guys are joining us on this afternoon's program. We'll be talking basketball. We'll be talking about the Kellon Baptiste Foundation and, what's happening, and as well as, what's happening with those guys, their journey from Grenada to college basketball in the United States, right? So we have Enel and Akinde Redhead, who will be joining us shortly. Enel is standing by. We just have a little technical thing there with Akinde, and as soon as he's up, we will be rolling. But once again, folks, welcome. Saturday Special. In fact, I am speaking to you live from Atlanta in Georgia, right, this weekend, and hopefully my co-host, Rudin Sylvan, will be joining me as per usual. So let me welcome both Enel and Akinde. Good afternoon to you, gentlemen. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Yes, I'm fine. And I hope everything is okay with you, right? Nice having you on the program, and it's a warm welcome. Yeah, as you know, for quite a while, we have been doing a lot of track and field and other sports outside of basketball. And whenever we talk basketball of recent, it wasn't so much of good news, but certainly you folks will be able to shine a little light on the sport of basketball, because I think as it is now, you folks are carrying the torch for basketball as how some of our athletes are carrying it for track and field, right? But first of all, let's start with you, Enel, and you probably give us a little introduction, in terms of how you started basketball, when you started basketball, playing basketball at home before you went off to the US.
Yeah, well, obviously my name is Enel Bernard. I grew up in half a village in St. Andrews, near Grenville, and started playing basketball up there from a pretty young age, because I grew up with my uncles and my dad who played basketball as well. So it started from there, and I think it just grew my passion from secondary school, when I actually started playing organized basketball under Coach Dabrio, and then it shifted to Coach Daryl Bernard and a couple of others whilst I was there. But I started in Alpha Village, and then it went to Grenville, and obviously throughout the whole island of Grenada. Went over to the UK for a little bit, then I got my scholarship at Panola. But just a short introduction to me. I attended the St. Andrews Roman Catholic primary school in Grenville, and then I went to SAS after that, where I played football for a little bit. I did athletics as well. I used to throw javelin and discus when I was in primary school. In secondary school, I did discus as well, and did some long distance running. So I tried to keep myself as athletic as possible whilst I was here, man.
All right. We'll come back a little, because I think you mentioned a couple of track and field, so we had to find out what happened that you moved from track and field to basketball. That will be another thing we'll talk about. Akinde, good afternoon to you, sir, and welcome. Yeah, Akinde. Kinde, same thing with you. Give us a little introduction. How you started in the sport, probably if you played on a sport, and how you moved from Grenada to the US.
Okay, my story is kind of similar in terms of playing sports. I started playing. I was a track and field athlete at first in primary schools and at Heinz. Then I also played table tennis and lawn tennis at Heinz. Then entering secondary school, I attended Grenada Boys Secondary School. I started basketball in Form 3. And from there on, I wanted to focus more on basketball per se. So I dropped the sports so that I was more hands on basketball so I could put more time into it and get better. And last year, I got a scholarship through the help and the works of the Kellon Baptiste Foundation, linking up with Panola. And yeah, here we are here now.
Very interesting to find out that our two top basketballers actually started in track and field and had probably could have been track and field stars. What you know? When our co-host Rudy and Silver comes on, he probably will want to grill you all because he's a track and field coach. He may try to find out what actually going on with you folks in terms of the movement from one sport to the other. But that's totally different because when you look at someone like Bolt, for example, Usain Bolt, he had an interest in cricket. He played cricket. He looks as a basketballer. Kirani James will tell you basketball was one of his first love, right? In fact, his brother is one of the top basketball player and coach in Grenada. But obviously, I assume Rudian will want to find out from you folks why switch from track and field to basketball. Yeah, so lots of great things happening, and we'll go from you folks with you in particular. We know that you, first of all, Panola, where you moved from, graduated from Panola, and will be moving on to Indiana State University. Tell us what it was like at Panola in terms of playing for Panola and the transition from Panola and then anticipating now for Division One basketball.
Well, the whole process at Panola was really good. I think it prepares you actually to move to the next level. A lot of people say that it's going to be a difficult journey and it's going to be hard. And don't get me wrong, it was like pretty difficult, but it was more so like a fun transition because the coaches, they help you, they guide you, they are hands on with you and everything like that. They ensure that you're good. They ensure that you have everything that you need to stay focused on basketball. They take care of your injuries. They take care of your mental side of basketball too. So the whole process at Panola was good. I had a pretty fun 2 years there. My first year, obviously, we had a pretty good season. I did pretty well for myself, all things considered. As a freshman, I started like over 90% of the games. I became the captain later on in the season as well. Got into the J48 NCAA camp, and Cam was there with me for a couple of those camps as well. So I was able to showcase myself a little bit more, and that was all because of being able to play for Panola and under Coach Joe Kulagowski for that first year. And the second year, going to my sophomore year, after a great summer of being able to play better, showcase myself more on a higher level against better level of talent and everything like that. I got heavily recruited by a couple of decent D1s. Had probably like between 25 and 30 schools recruiting me, I believe, before I signed with Indiana State. And ultimately, I chose Indiana State because they provided everything that I needed in an institution. They kind of gave me the same values as Panola from a coaching staff perspective. The community there for basketball is huge. It's amazing. Once you get there, you can feel the difference in just the air, just the people that you speak to. You can see that they support basketball, support their athletes, they support the whole institution on a whole. So that was a pretty good, decision for me to make for myself personally. And I'm excited to go over there. Obviously, my second year at Panola ended pretty well. And obviously, there's goals you would have. We had a goal of winning a national championship. We fell shy of that, but all things considered, we had a pretty historic season. We set a school record for most wins. We won the region for the first time. We made it to the Final Four for the first time. We had 2 All-Americans on the same team for the first time as well. And I think every sophomore or everyone that was qualified to leave went on to play, Division I or Division II basketball. So I'll say for me personally, I had a pretty good season, and for the team, I think we did what we set out to do on a pretty high level, showcasing ourselves.
Is it similar experience you have in now, Akinde, in terms of Panola?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's very similar. I mean, everything he said is. I mean, we was on the same team and the same year.
Same room.
Oh, all right. Okay. Oh, so you all shared similar experience. And how it was like, Akinde, for the transition, moving from Grenada to the even though junior basketball.
I mean,
the junior college basketball.
Yeah, it was fun. Yet I don't want to say difficult, but maybe more challenging, because everything over there is completely different to how we do things here. They have a higher grade and a higher scale of equipments and opportunities. So it was just getting used to the amount of training we did, the amount of time we put into basketball, and having to balance it, school and basketball every time. But I think it was good. It was very approachable if you put the right mindset, and also it was good familiar face in Enel to guide me along the way, so it wasn't that difficult of adjustment.
Okay then. Let me put in Rudian. Rudian, good afternoon.
Pleasant good afternoon to you, gentlemen.
You may have just missed that part in the introduction, where both players, basketballers, started off basically, started off with as track and field. Do you see that transition, Rudian, the track and field basketball?
Well, you see a lot of it in the high school level. Well, Andre the Grass, certainly was a basketball player. So he called himself a basketball player, and he become top in track and field. Actually, when he was scouted, he was running in the basketball shoes. And when they scouted him, so subtly, but the transition do happen. We have seen it a lot. We have seen track and field athlete playing football. Track and field athlete, I did had guys when I was at the University of Memphis, track and field guys who did try out for the basketball team. So the transition is there, certainly. And certainly I listen to you guys, and it is going to be different. The caliber of basketball in the United States is so different, especially on the college level. It doesn't matter if it's junior college or if it's Division I, even if it's Division II, it don't make a difference. It's a serious thing. These guys in them to take it very serious, right? So certainly I'm very happy to see and to hear about you guys. I've been following you guys for some time now, but I'm very happy to see the transition now going into like they call the big leagues. It's like the NBA of college, It's like that's what it is, right? These guys and them will be giving it their all because they want to make it to the next level, and that's really what it is you want to do. Make it to the next level, So just keep your head up, continue doing. You're going to see things you haven't seen before. The experience you're going to get, you have never experienced it before. The level of commitment that they ask from you guys is going to be something that you have never seen before. Some of it is at 5 o'clock, wake up in the morning. The long running, all of those things, you just have to prep for it. Set your mind, but I think you guys are ready. You guys are Grenadian, so if you're not Grenadian, then you cannot, certainly, So just do us and just make us proud as what you guys have been doing already, and certainly, just do the work. Yeah.
Sorry, but the reason why we laughed is because
there's a saying that
mentioned 5 a.m. Going on the running. We had something called Track Tuesdays at our school. And we have to wake up at like 4 or 5 to go run the track in the morning before practice. So when you said that, it like brought it back to that. So yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's okay. We can, and it's the truth. It's real. And to listen, man, this the discipline. Those guys who make it to the NBA, don't think they just wake up one day and they just because they have the talent and they make it in. They got to put in the work. They have to put in the work. Listen, you guys, you going to a school. Indiana school is known for basketball more than any other sport. They are known for basketball. So you are going a place where Indiana itself is where what's his name yeah, that's Larry Bird home. That's his home. Yes, and that is the home. So certainly, my first experience going to Indiana, I was like, my goodness, man, these guys in them all day, they're serious about these things, right? So everywhere you go, you're seeing this thing. So certainly, just do what you got to do, man. You guys will be all right. You're just representing us, just certainly, just when you're there, you got to think of, I'm not only representing me, my family, I'm representing Grenada at the same time. So, when you get proud, we are proud. When you hurt, we are hurt. You know what I mean? So certainly just continue the work that you guys are doing.
Yeah, and college basketball by no means is very competitive, very intense because that's where, as you said, Rudy, and that's where the future NBA stars.
Yeah.
In fact, that's where they look for. Why do they draft? They do the draft through the college system, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's very intense. It's very competitive. In fact, there are folks who look at college basketball more than they look at the NBA because
Yeah.
it's so competitive.
It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and just to expand on what Rudy was saying, as it is now, you folks are basically now carrying the Grenadian flag in terms of basketball. It's like consider yourself as a Kirani James in basketball, okay?
The ambassadors.
Consider yourself as a Lyndon Victor or Anderson Peters or others in basketball. You are now the flag bearers in basketball for Grenada. So whatever you're doing, you have to consider yourself, as Rudian would say, as the ambassadors of the sport, in terms of the discipline, in terms of the training, in terms of the competitiveness, and things like that. So when you do that, what you're doing too is that you're ensuring that you setting a path Indians, because it means that coaches and scouts and others will be looking for folks like you back home because you are basically homebred. Okay. So to me it's very important. Yeah. So Enel, let's talk now about what you're looking forward to in terms of the transition from Panola to Indiana State. What you have heard, what you have been briefed on. Certainly you have been able to do some investigation. You have been getting some briefs because you're not prepared. And from what I understand, that you have this big game against Duke sometime later on in the fall. Okay, so obviously that will be part of the mindset. Let's talk about the mindset in terms of preparing yourself for that next stage of basketball in your career.
Well, I would say I'm overly excited because I get a chance to test myself on a higher stage than I have been. I'm going to be allowed to grow more and learn from higher level of coaching. Actually play against really tough competition because well, for me as a player, I have a ton of respect for anyone that plays at any level, and the Division One level is up there. So I'm excited for that. The Duke game is definitely in the books for me. I'm looking forward to be prepared for that, so I can showcase what Grenada could do on that level and in that building, because I'm not sure if anyone from Grenada has ever gotten the chance to play there, but I would definitely want to leave my mark in some capacity. As far as the full season, I just want to be able to go in, and try to win as much as possible, because at the end of the day, that's the main thing that matters. You could be doing everything as an individual, but as long as your team's not winning, then I feel like it kind of devalues some of the good things that you do. So I want to be able to contribute to winning, helping Coach Grace, Coach Odom, Coach Cesar there, just try and hopefully capture that MV, that Missouri Valley Championship this year, and try to get into March Madness, because you watch that all the time. Even this year, you see how exciting it was. Just watching the competition, watching how everyone make their dreams come true by winning championships, winning games. Sometimes just being able to be there and experience that atmosphere, I think it's a big deal. for me, now knowing what it feels like to play at a Division One level at the JUCO and making it to the national 2 years in a row, I just have a taste to play in tournament style, like high intensity, like win or go home. I mean, lose or go home type games. I love that. It's exciting. It's thrilling. It makes me feel nervous, and I really don't get that much. So I think that's the main thing for me. I want to be able to win as much this year, showcase myself, be able to experience all that growth. Go in with my head down, just take as much coaching as I can, and try to grow for this year and for next year, and just try to get better as a player and as a person throughout the whole year.
Yes, certainly, because you also going into a stadium you never played in before that is well known, right? Big, it's a bigger stadium, bigger crowd. Yes, you're coming from a different environment of fans. So you'll be known on campus at the same time. So I'm begging you, don't make it get to your head. Just stay
Oh,
focused on exactly
I'm,
what you want to do, because
I'm,
like I said, sometimes we get excited,
yeah.
and it does happen, and I think you'll be okay, but you just stay focused. Listen, your goal is to be in the starting lineup. Your goal is to hold your spot. That is what it is. Your goal is to work hard to show you on your spot. Set your goals and what you want to do. What is the next level for you after this? And if you think about those things and you work towards those things, man, nothing is gonna stop you from getting it. So, like I said, the excitement is there, and like again, Indiana is just as Duke University, it's just as Memphis, it's just as Kentucky, just as Arkansas, just as LSU. No difference. They're all on the level of basketball. That's exactly how they are. That's exactly how the fans are. Your name is going to be in a jersey that kid's going to be wearing. Your name is going to be in a jersey that people is going to be wearing. You understand? And that's a big deal. That is
Well,
certainly a big deal.
well, we hope Grenadians will wear it too.
Yeah, they got to buy a jersey. They got to order
Yeah.
it from Indiana. They got to do that, because
Yeah.
once your number is out there, I got to order my own. So so certainly that's the goal. So yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
well, for this year, I'm switching back to my old number. I used to wear in Grenada, so that should be even more exciting for me too.
Okay, there you go.
Going back
And
here,
what
so
number is that? What number is that?
number 10, number 10.
Number
Number
10.
10. Okay.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
So you know
Yeah.
in football, number 10 is the striker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
You're the
tend to be the
Messi.
finisher
You're the
at times in sports, so
Messi.
Um, Akinde, so you'll be on your own now, okay? At Panola. So you have to be, you now will be the flag bearer at Panola. So the eyes will be looking at you. Now, all eyes, you have no company now. When I say that in terms of, Enel to say, hey, that's my pal there now, right? So do you think that's added pressure in terms of expectation of you, in terms of the team, in terms of the sort of performance that's expected of you now?
Whether or not it's added pressure or not, I don't think I would feel the pressure of anything. I'm not one to really take on pressure that's not necessary. I only tend to control the things that I can control. But in terms of there, I mean, I think I understand the role. I understand my goals. I understand what I'm supposed to be doing, what I'm not supposed to be doing anyway. So, I mean, it was fun having there for the year, but I think we all have to move on at some point. So I think I'll be fine in what I'm supposed to do this next upcoming season. For me, the main thing is we did so much winning last season. We broke so many records, made history. That the only thing we didn't get to really do was win a national championship. So that's the goal that my mindset is really set on for us to continue winning games and get to the point next chance at the national championship and this time come on top.
That's
That's good. I like that attitude. I like
I
the
like, I
attitude.
like that. Enel?
yeah. Can I add to that? Yeah, but I keep telling him next year is our Final Four bust because I'm gonna give him a lot of talk. If he ain't making all of if he ain't making all the
You
way,
gotta
I'm gonna give
prove
him a lot of
himself.
talk.
Nah, I
But
think
You gotta prove himself. You gotta prove himself.
yeah, in all fairness though, like I feel like this year, uh, like I saw him work. You know what I mean? And even when we was in Grenada, we was competing against each other. That's one of the guys that I looked at and I was like motivated to work harder because we compete against each other. We looked each other eye to eye, and we know for a fact.
how you all competed in some of the schools?
Yeah, secondary school, under 23s and stuff like that.
So when was in school, you were at which school again?
I mean, I was at SAS.
And he was at
GBSS. I mean, I'll admit, before you even say it, they beat me a couple times. You know what I'm saying, but that's because they had a better team.
I just wanted to stress. I just wanted to stress it. Yeah,
just throw it out there before you start bloating and all that. Yeah, but yeah, they got me a couple times in secondary school. But after secondary school, I got them back, so I ain't really worried. Okay. But no, definitely. Like, if I wish that more people will see how hard he works. Like, I see it every day, man. Like, he's in the gym, damn near more than me at times. He's working hard, like head down. Obviously, he was hurt a couple times this year, and even while he was hurt, he was working. So I'm excited to see what he does next season because, like, now, as he said, well, I think he's gonna have a lot of freedom to, show himself, and I'm just looking forward to see that because I like watching players that I like play, whether it be from the sidelines or from opposite me, but I just want to see him do a lot of good things. I want to see him get on the court and just smile and just like be Akinde Redhead, man. Trust me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even before you all start the new season, Akinde back in Panola for his final year, and you going into your first year at Indiana, I think you all will be part of that clinic in Grenada where you all hopefully be sharing. Well, the experiences you all share with us now is what you all will be sharing with some of the local players. What are you looking forward to? What you hoping to share with those players in Grenada?
I'll let Kinder go first on that.
I mean, for me, last year I was a part of the camp, so I was in their situation trying to earn an opportunity or a chance to play basketball abroad, to play at a higher level, a better level. So I think it'll be like a full circle moment for me to be able to at least now share my experience in the past year rather than having to just be a sport. So I understand what they feel, what they may go through on those couple of days, those facts. So I think I'll be able to not only help them understand what is out there, how it was for me, but also motivate them to stay ready and be prepared for their opportunity whenever it comes.
Mm-hmm. Enel?
Yeah, like for me, I'm just excited to get back here again and just be able to talk to the guys, interact with them, share some of my experiences with them so that they can have a better understanding of what it's like for basically a Grenadian that got to leave to go play abroad, and just want to be able to assist the coaches because they're the ones that are going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting. We're going to be there to assist them and just ensure that everything runs smoothly. I'm just looking forward to being able to motivate everybody and just give everybody an extra boost.
Mm-hmm. Rudian, before you come on to say anything, let me just say this here, one observation. Halfway through the program, and I have to say that. You guys, I'm very impressed with your expression, with your speech, with your verbiage, everything like that. So I have to say that. Rudian, I don't know if you observe that, if you monitor that. And I'm saying that because from time to time, almost every week, we have folks on the program. So over the past few years, we have been able to gauge, right? And I'm telling you, folks, you're all at a high level in terms of expression, in terms of speech, in terms of presentation. And I want to applaud you, the Kellon Baptiste Foundation, Panola, and all the coaches, in fact, the team around you. I want to applaud them because I think they have worked very good in terms of ensuring that you all giving us good representation in terms of your expression and thing. Rudian, I don't know if you observe that.
No, most definitely. The growth is really more. I will have to say, you guys have grown from the young boys you guys was, like you said, one in Saks and one in GBSS to gentlemen now. And it's more like, and I stress what I said before, is more about yourself now. You're also representing your family, your parents, your mother, your father. There's a representation that you are doing. You're representing your school, and then of course you're representing the country. So that what I've seen, that growth that I've seen from you guys. Even though I didn't know you guys prior to being in Grenada, in terms of playing basketball in school, I just learned about you guys being in college now. I definitely could, most whoever is listening could also say that there is that big growth in you guys. I mean, you mentioned, Mr. Redhead, that you were hurt and you're still working hard. And I like that because today you see guys in the NBA, they get one little thing and they dunk for 2 weeks through it. So I like that old style back in the 80s. You see them guys and then Michael Jordan and those guys and then playing They bust up, and they're still playing basketball. Today, that generation of basketball have gone away. So, like that, they say, even when you're hurt, you're still putting in the work, still continue doing that because, I mean, that's the only how you could be successful, right? Don't worry about those who are there. A lot of guys nowadays, they could just sit on the bench. They don't love the game. Yeah, they got to play, man. You get a little tweak and something, and they're sitting down for 2 3 weeks. Right? I'm not trying to say they're not hurt, but you got to be hungry. You got to want it. You got to really strive for it. Um, in where you at in Panola, there's one championship game. There is no spot for second place. All that matters is first place. NCAA is the same thing. Yes, we make it to the final four. Then what? And if you're not number one, you're nothing. The same thing in the NBA. As good as you are, there's nothing for second place. Everything is first place
Yeah.
and
Definitely.
getting that championship. So if that's what your mind is on, that's what you're working on. And on top of that too, let me stress about that too. You guys have to stay focused on your academics as well. Okay, that is a big part of it. That is a very, very important part because your academics is not to par, you're not going to get to play.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. I'm saying for a fact because I experienced it in terms of being in university and knowing the rules. Right? Man, and listen, I played scrimmage basketball with Penny Hardaway. Now he's the head coach at the University of Memphis. I met Shaquille O'Neal. I met Michael Jordan. As my young days growing up, I met great players. But track and field was my thing. It never encouraged me to go for basketball. It's always track and field, right? And I take it serious. That's why I put in the work and I went to the Olympics and I represent Grenada. You guys can do the same thing. That flag couldn't be raised when you won the championship. You could have your flag with you. You see it from other players. You see it from all of the other guys. So continue doing that hard work, man. Continue putting in the work and do what you guys are doing, man.
So Kyron is letting me know that it's the public speaking is a requirement for all the athletes, and apparently it was Kenroy Baptiste public speaking class that you folks have been able to delve into, and I want
Yeah.
to say thanks to Kenroy. Well, we know Kenroy, who is involved in the media as well, public speaking, and I mean, kudos to you, Kenroy, because you did a marvelous job with those guys. I am telling you, and if take it from me, that no, I'm serious about it.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been doing that, and I've been involved in the media for probably since before you born, right? So and I can tell you that at your stage and what you're saying to us and how you're expressing yourself with that level of confidence, okay, I'm impressed. I had some goosebumps a while ago. I can't show you it, but I am impressed of what I'm hearing from you folks, how you're expressing yourself, the level of confidence, even your body language and all of that. It says a lot, right? And that is what we expect of our ambassadors, right? If you are, and I'm certain, if the coaches and others are seeing what you folks are bringing out to us, it means that they will have an interest. That's why I'm saying that how you do and what you do, and it's not only about the performance, but all these other aspects of things. It means that you all are laying a foundation for future ones, right? And it means that they will have an interest in getting that sort of quality because you bring a lot to the table for them. And I want to congratulate again Kyron Baptiste and the Kellon Baptiste Foundation and all those who are involved, Heather and, and Ken Roy and all those who are Paul McIntyre and all the folks who are involved in what we are doing. Now, if we can see that manifest itself in other sports, right? I'm telling you, that will be wonderful. And it's good to see that it's a small class for now, manageable, right? But the hope is that what you all will ultimately bring out will ensure that we can able to produce some quality sportsmen and sportswomen in the future. So getting back to the expectations, both Akinde and Enel for the new season, and certainly you will be trying to impart some knowledge, some experience and I'm certain that the folks will be excited, both boys and girls will be excited for that summer program that you're all getting into. But getting into the next phase, as we said, with Akinde, you're very important year, your final year, an important year in Panola, and then Enel, your inaugural season in Division One, as we say, and CAA Division One basketball. Akinde, let's talk about expectation again and more deeper into in terms of fitness, what you probably doing on what you're hoping to do on a daily basis, I should say, to ensure that you stay at that level, because it certainly will be demanding of you for that final year.
Okay, so I think me and my coaches also talked about it before we left. The reason why I got injured earlier in the season, but preseason actually, was because I think I was so excited to be in a situation where I have all the equipment that I need to get better on a daily basis, that I would work my body and I didn't stretch enough. I wasn't taking care of my body. Like, I didn't know the phase or the definition of rest, and that having a hamstring strain, and I was out for like a month, a month and a week, I believe. So like preseason, there was like weekends where I couldn't game weekends. They call it jamborees. I couldn't participate. I just had to watch and support from the sidelines. So when the season started, I was a bit behind. So we were talking about how I was always catch up at the point in time because I missed the opportunity to get first born. But me best being too excited to have the opportunity that I've been waiting for so long, that I rushed things and I was trying to get better at a very quick pace. But I think one of the biggest weapons that we have here in Grenada is the beach, having access to both the sand and the water. Normally, even Coach Pablo used to tell me like the sand is for development and strength, and the water is for mostly healing. So that is something. I live in Grenada, close to the beach, so that's something that I will be using very often as I can. And gym, late season, I understood that the gym is a very important thing for my body, for strength wise. And I fell in love with the gym. Someone is also very in love with the gym, so we used to work out sometimes together. Even no matter how much times a day, we try to get in there twice a day for the least. Yeah, basketball wise, I think I'm always going to be good basketball. Confidence wise, I'm always going to be good confidence wise, but just being able to stay available. My coach mentioned that's the biggest thing for me next year, to be able to stay available. So when he and the other coaches call on me, that I can come with them performing every week.
Richard Pierre is saying, Akinde, yes, it's the Heinz and GBSS Foundation in him. Right? Yeah. So, Enel, yes. So, and certainly that level in terms of NCAA Division One, the demand, the training regime, all these sort of things, fitness, all these things will be at another level.
Yeah. Well, my coaches, they sent a list of stuff for us to do to get ready for the season. So I've been trying to get those done on a weekly basis, and obviously just to mirror what Kinde said, we have a lot of stuff here that we can use. Obviously, like we have the humidity to really start burning ourselves out to where our conditioning here would translate over there really well. Because for me coming back and start like running and playing here was a lot harder than me coming from here to there. So I think just using our natural resources. Obviously, the food here is good, so we're eating a lot, trying to put some weight on my body a little bit, and just staying in the gym, being able to build my body. As he said, we were in the gym a lot. I try to get in there like at least once a day, twice a day, just to ensure that my body's strong enough and keep myself fit. I try to stretch as much as possible. That's something that me and him like discussed when we got there. I told him we gonna have to try to at least stretch as much as we can, because it helps. Trust me, it helps. And you hear like the older players and older coaches saying you that like you gotta keep your body in a certain way, and it matters. Like especially when you got a long season, it matters. So I want to be able to over prepare my body so that when I go into the preseason, I'm able to work at peak capacity from the jump. I don't want to have to ramp up from a base level. So just keeping my body right, and obviously growing my game, because now I can't stay the same player as I was at Panola. I gotta grow in all aspects, especially my shooting. I gotta improve on that. I gotta improve on just my all-around game, being able to get better at the things that I'm good at and get better at the things that I'm not so good at. So that's the goal for the next couple of weeks for me.
Mm. Wow, almost as if you don't have an off season, man.
What I say, the work never ends. So yeah, it's certainly that. I think sport on a whole is an all-round thing. It's an all-round career. You in the off season, like some people would say, you could afford to be out of shape, but then the season comes up on you quick. You don't really think to yourself, because some of us play through the summer. Like me, last summer I was playing basketball in the UK and I had like some camps to do. So that was a little bit of a shock to me, to where I had to stay in peak condition throughout the whole summer, and then right as the summer ended, preseason started. So I think just knowing that, and knowing that whenever the season starts, you got to be ready. You don't want to have to start getting ready for the season in the preseason. It really sounds crazy, but you got to be ready for the season even before the preseason even starts.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, it's rather interesting, and because for some they will just figure that you folks um, play basketball when the season is complete. That's it, and you return to school when school reopens and start to play basketball again. I mean, that's what I'm saying. The mindset in terms of, and then the transition, because at home, that basically is it, right? It's a different thing altogether. How often you do what you're doing there, I mean, it was never like that before. Secondary school, let's look at secondary school basketball, and when they do have it, and sometimes it used to be just like an independence tournament, something like that. So how often you play, how long is the season in terms of secondary school basketball, right? It's not as long as, let's say, track and field or football, these sort of things like that. So you just play a couple of games, you're in a zone or whatever it is like that. You play a couple of games, and then that's the championship. So now you move into a different setting where you're playing basketball probably every weekend or every week. So the body itself, in terms of the transition, different altogether. You're coming from one where you played basketball, very rare in Grenada, to where you playing almost every week. So we could understand the in terms of the strenuous part of it, in terms of the body, first of all, and then having to acclimatize, having to get the body used to this every weekend. And, I could imagine, folks. I could imagine. But certainly, I'm looking forward to your tutelage in terms of the kids this summer, and I'm hoping that, especially for the parents, if your kids are, interested in basketball, this will be a good opportunity for them to be there, to meet with, Enel and Akinde, to hear from them, and just to share their experiences, and certainly inspire the young ones, because I believe once upon a time, not I believe, but once upon a time, basketball was the number one sport in Grenada. Basketball was the number one sport in Grenada, and we don't know what happened, but probably I don't know. That's why those guys left track and field and then go over to basketball.
Well, if I could just add to it, I think that's kind of one of the beauties of having stuff like the Kellon Baptiste Foundation in camp.
Right.
I think those type of things, it helps to encourage players, for one, younger kids, and it also gives the parents an idea of what their kids are getting into. And I think for a lot of parents, there's this fear of like, them going and play this certain sports, and what's the benefit of it. So track and field is like, there's a lot of opportunities in there. Cricket is a lot of opportunities in there. Football, and for basketball, for us here, it's kind of like a little bit more mundane and very, very sparing. I think the beauty of the Kellon Baptiste Foundation Inc. is the fact that we look for opportunities for guys. They try to put you in positions so that when you do get those opportunities, you're not just going there blind. You're going there ready. And even after you get those opportunities, they stay with you. They ensure that everything is taken care of. They ensure that you're able to focus on the sport that you're focusing on. They ensure that you're still in school. You're doing everything that you got to do, everything that's necessary. And they ensure that you're well prepared. You're well set. You're encouraged to actually go further and dream bigger and just achieve more. I think it would be good for the parents to see that and see that manifest, because I can tell you, my mom and my parents and everyone, they saw what Karen and everyone did for me, and they were just so much more happy at the fact that I was being able to achieve dreams that they knew I had from a younger age. So I would like for the parents to come out and see their kids participate, and even parents whose kids are not participating. Some of them got young kids I want to come see. Some of the guys in the country that play the sport, they should come down as well and just get an idea and a feel for what it's like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, certainly. Rudian, any questions for the two gentlemen?
No. Suddenly, I honestly think, I believe that their mind is ready, especially going into Indiana State. Like I said, I think you mentally prepared. I think you're physically also prepared to go in and just and just have fun and just do what you do. Try to make it into the NCAA tournament, and the Sweet 16, Elite Eight, Final Four, championship game. That's really what it is. Plus, win your conference too, right? So it's a lot. And again, just taking everything, man. It's one opportunity, one time. Take it in. Opportunities like that don't happen, especially for Grenadians. Yeah, as you can tell. So please just enjoy it and then just have fun. And definitely for you, Mr. Redhead, I believe that a school. It may not be Indiana. It could be another school that is eyeing you and looking for you, and definitely, you can see. So definitely, or then you got to put in a word for Indiana for him to come in. So you got to recruit him now. So so certainly, that'll be good. That'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to play another year with me. You said you don't want to play against me, but I ain't gonna let him do that one. Nah, I want my brother with me, man. But nah, that's my brother for real. I love having him around. I love the fact that we were able to have a year together, because it's something that we was looking for here. Being able to play on the same team, but obviously it was better for us to play against each other for our growth and just for the excitement of the sport. But I love having someone as close as Kinde next to me, man. And whether it's at Indiana, I'd like for him to come there for sure.
Yeah, no, no, for sure. Because what does it do? It helps both of you guys too. You guys help each other out. You guys, could support each other in any ways, right? You have somebody you can talk to, somebody that can keep you going, somebody that can motivate you at the same time. So definitely that would be good to have you guys play together. For a championship team. So yeah.
Definitely.
Yep, that to me is quite interesting, and as I indicated earlier, we'll try to get Kyron to give us a little update as to the Kellon Baptiste Foundation and what it has been doing, and plans for this summer. Karen, good afternoon and welcome. And again, I want to congratulate you and all the folks in the Kellon Baptiste Foundation. And yeah, I think we get enough feedback. Yeah, and one of the things that is interesting, as we say, the Kellon Baptiste Foundation. Now, Kellon Baptiste was a former footballer.
That's right.
Behind that, national footballer. But
right.
Here we have the foundation that is taking care of two basketballers. And that is so unique in terms of what they're hoping to achieve in terms of the foundation. Whether it's football, whether it's basketball, whether it's track and field. In fact, they're hoping to develop youth into sports, right?
Yes.
Thanks very much, Kyron. And again, I want to say congratulations. If you can give us a summary of how you were, you and the foundation were able to capture these two guys.
Yeah, Mike, thank you for having me on the program today.
Why Enel? Why Enel and Akinde? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, those two guys are special, and they have a talent that Grenada, have, and we wanted to keep them going. We wanted to make sure that they get the opportunity that they need to get up Grenada and pursue their dreams. So when I saw Ian for the first time, I knew that he had college talent, right? I played myself, so I know what college level basketball looks like. So that was an easy decision for me to make. I saw him, I spoke to him, and we spoke to his parents. And once I saw the interest in him, I said, let's get to work. Coach Paul McIntyre told me about Enel about probably 6 months ago prior to meeting him, and I just locked in on him. We started chatting, and then we just took it from there. Akinde came next. Akinde was also referred by Paul McIntyre also. He's a Grenada player, and he wanted to get out a long time, but there was no opportunities for him. So he hung in there. He kept training. He waited for the opportunity, and I know he has it. So those two guys are special, and we can't wait to see how far they can reach. I know they both want to play at the highest level, and we are excited to have them playing in college right now and playing at Panola and at Indiana State.
And you have been following them in terms of games, actually going to see some of the games and things like that. So tell me what sort of feedback you have been getting from the coaches and other players regarding those two Grenadian players.
Yeah, almost all of the coaches that I've spoke to, they always ask me, these two guys are good. Where are they from again? I'm like, when they say Grenada, they're like, yo, we are come to Grenada and look for talent also. So they know that Grenada has talent. They know that now. And Enel has set the stage for all other athletes. In fact, Akinde scholarship, the coach didn't have to see Akinde. He said he saw his tape and he said, this is enough for me to make a decision. So, and plus, Enel doing what he's doing just made it easier for Akinde. So I'm glad that coaches are noticing these guys playing at a college level and able to see that they are guys who can make it on the big stage.
Yeah. And a word on the summer program coming up, that clinic, that special clinic. Give us some details on it.
Yeah, sure. So last year we saw how special the camp was and transformative for the athletes. So we decided to run it back again this year. This year we added the girls component to the camp. So we're going to have 12 girls in the camp. We're going to have 20 boys and 12 girls. So we have brought in Brendan Bain, Coach Brendan Bain, our very own Grenadian coach from New York at Panola College. And he will be specializing in women's programs. So he's here to develop the girls. We have lost the girls basketball in Grenada and trying to get it back. And now we also have Coach Gary Maitland. He's an NBA skills trainer, professional skills trainer. We have Ethan Thomas, who's a retired NBA player, and his son Malcolm Thomas. We have Coach Aaron Williams, who was Enel coach last year. And of course we have Enel and Akinde also as assistants. So we have a caliber of coaches coming this year for the camp, and they're going to be imparting their knowledge and skills to these young athletes, right? Now the girls, there's a girl from Panola College who we're looking at. Her name is Diamond, and we are looking at her for next year. So she's going to be under Coach Paul McIntyre for about 2 years to get her ready, to get her upskilled, and then work on our scholarship for her. So she is the talent. She is interested in playing college basketball. She has the height, she has the size, she has the desire to play at the highest level also. So this will be our first college athlete from the foundation in terms of women.
Mm-hmm. And I know there are plans for the Foundation Inc. to get into other sporting disciplines. Talk a bit about that.
Yes, actually, I came down in April to look at the intercall games, and one of the reasons was to look at the athletes there. And I did shortlist about 6 athletes who I'm going to refer to some track and field coaches. They already gave me the times they need for these track athletes to run. So I have all the times, I have the names. It's a good variety from SAS, from GBSS, from Panola College, from St. David's Secondary, from PBC. So I am going to pass this list on to the coaches and see what they think. But we want to help in both basketball, football, and track and field as much as we can. I know GFA is doing a great job right now with the grassroots program. There's football almost every weekend. You see all the young kids playing, so that's great. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be a pool of players coming in the near future for scholarship. That's great. But for track and field, these guys have the raw talent. They need to get out of Grenada, right? And I'm seeing a lot of athletes remaining here after they finish secondary school. And I wonder why is that the case? Why is that these athletes remain in Grenada and cannot get a scholarship? So either there is no connection with the universities in the US, there is no relationship building with colleges, and that needs to change. So if we can help in that aspect, we will. And I'm hoping that some coaches can take some of the track athletes, as early as this year on next year. But we need to get these track guys out also.
You have been meeting with some stakeholders in Grenada over the past few months and most recently in terms of weeks. What sort of feedback you have been getting in terms of collaborating with some of the stakeholders in Grenada?
Yes, actually, the first one and biggest one was Ministry of Youth and Sports. We were adamant this year that we're going to engage them. We're going to share our vision with them. And actually, meeting with Honorable Delma Thomas, it was very inspiring, right? We felt motivated to do more. I mean, listen to her vision, her plans for sports in general in Grenada. I really felt refreshed. And I must say that she has some great things in store for Grenada sports. And I hope that we can partner with her going forward and with the camp, with other follow-up camps, with other elite programs, because we need to have these kids in an elite program where they are actually trained, nurtured, and developed. So all of them, Thomas has those, arsenal, and I hope that we can keep this competition going on and help as much as we can.
Have you gotten your tickets for that Duke Indiana game in November?
I have. Well, I'm hoping to be flying with Indiana State team, but if not, yes, absolutely. And the coach already told me that if you see me there on November 14th, I told him yes, absolutely will be there. So I'm hoping I can go to Indiana and jump on the plane with the team, but we will see.
All right. So now you have Indiana State University, and then you still have Panola.
Yeah.
Before you only had Panola with the two
Yes.
guys watching the game. How are you hoping to monitor those guys to ensure that you give them maximum attention?
Yeah, well, I'd have to add Indiana State to my trips. Now, since I'm in Maryland, Indiana State is only an hour and a half flying, so I can get to Indiana State easily. Texas, however, is a couple hours away. I have to fly into Dallas, then drive for 2 hours sometime up to Carthage, Texas to see Akinde at Panola. So I have to split my time this year, but definitely I will be doing that for sure. I'm going to keep supporting these guys, because I know it's good to see family in the stands watching them play and cheering them on. When I went to Texas, last year, actually this year, to watch the play in Texas, I gathered some Grenadian contingent and I brought them to the game. And I can see the excitement in Enel and Akinde's faces to see that these guys came to support them. So I want to keep that going for these guys. So yes, I will be putting my time between Indiana State and Texas this season.
Right. And a follow-up with that, how were you able to get those guys into, of all the colleges available, Panola one, and then how you were able to get Enel, or how Enel was able to get into Indiana? Give us the transition, give us the process.
Sure.
Start with Panola.
Yeah, sure. So we have a whole ton of respect for JUCO program, right? People tend to kind of don't talk JUCO program, but trust me, that's not the case at all.
No, and in whatever sport, right? Even
Right.
softball. Right?
Yes. So we thought that the JUCO program is a program where you can go in there, get trained, showcase yourself, and get ready for scholarship. Now, coming from Grenada, right? Sometimes you have to compete straight into Division 1 or Division 2. So Coach Joe gave us, the blueprint, you're going to come to Panola, I'm going to work with him, I'm going to develop him, I'm getting ready for Division 1. So said, so done. So I respect JUCO programs a whole lot. When I saw that, I'm like, we should build a relationship with JUCO programs. So I spoke to Coach Joe, and he committed to having at least 2 players from Grenada every year. Problem is that demand is more than supply.
Yeah.
That's the problem right now in Grenada. So we have the opportunities, but we don't have the players. Here the camp comes in now. So we hope that through the camp, we can identify more athletes for scholarship and get them ready. In terms of Enel going to Division 1, that was a hard decision in terms of how many schools were recruiting him. We had close to 30 schools wanting Enel recruited. So we narrowed down to about 2 or 3. We took only 2 visits out of, the 3 or 4 schools we had. And once we saw Indiana State, we saw what the coach's plan was for Enel, They explained to us how he would fit into the program, how they would use him, the family environment there, the atmosphere in the state, the campus, living conditions. We like, this is a no-brainer. And I think what also got us was the fact that they plan to develop him from day one. He already has stuff coming to him for pre-training already. The coach sending him stuff that he needs to work on right now as he's in there right now. So that shows the interest and the care that they have for the players. So we just excited, to be part of Indiana State.
Right. Quite interesting there, and I want to thank you, Kyron, and I want to thank your foundation as well as Roger. Good afternoon, Roger. Is saying Kyron's mom is the real G, the real foundation. Keep pressing, Kyron. Grenada is proud of you supporting our sons, and certainly as we said, the foundation, which is basically built on the legacy of Kellon, a former footballer. Started off with a bang in terms of basketball,
Yes.
And I have not heard a footballer name mentioned as yet because we hear with track and field.
Let me touch on that.
Quite interesting.
Quickly, Michael. Yeah. So the GFA is in the know of all of this, right? Whatever we do, the GFA knows. We tag them because obviously Kellon is still part of the GFA family. So even though we are doing basketball, the GFA knows that. And also, we have identified 2 goalkeepers that we are working with right now. That's our next project, right? I promised Kellon that even just for his legacy's sake,
a former goalkeeper.
Yes. So I would make sure that there is a goalkeeper on a scholarship when the time comes and when the time is right. Because we have to be patient with this team. We can't just rush and send people off because they are goalkeeper because they played. We have to be, we have to be ready to go. So we have 2 guys we're looking at right now, and we're going to make it happen.
Mm-hmm. And do you get requests? Do you get calls like from the foundation? Well, the foundation getting calls and things, people expressing interest, something like that. So.
Oh yeah. Especially for this camp coming up, we cap it at 32 to 20 boys and 12 girls, but we have interest from over, I would say, about 40 boys and over 20 girls, or even more than that. But the problem is that we want to keep the size of the camp to something that the coach can manage, right?
Yeah, manageable,
right. We want it to be very effective. So even though you have these coaches coming into Grenada, you still want to make sure that the camp size is manageable and that these kids are learning. Because at the end of the day, the goal is to get them a scholarship, and you don't want to overcrowd the camp, right? You want to be able to look at each player. Each player get an evaluation from Coach Gary after the camp, like individual evaluation that the coaches have to work with the player after the camp. So that's a lot of work for the coaches to put together. Total evaluation.
All right. So let me give those guys an opportunity to wrap now. We don't want to keep them too long, but I want to
let me ask a question quick, Michael.
Yes, go ahead.
Definitely, I'm proud of what you're doing. Certainly, you mentioned McDonald College, and you get my vote every single time. So I don't know. Once you said, there's athletes from McDonald College, that's all I need to hear, But I wanted to ask, are you? I'm listening to you, and I'm getting the feeling that are you have the desire of being a sports agent?
Yes, sir. Actually, I am. Actually,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So it's good.
Yeah, basketball. I want to touch on this. So every year we visit 2 schools as our mentorship program. So last year we did SAS and GBSS. This year we visited McDonald College and PBC. Since PBC is the defending champions of the basketball championship, and the McDonald College is the home of Ethan Thomas' great grandmother. So we wanted him to get there and actually talk to the kids. We're going to talk to these athletes across all sports, not just basketball, across all sports. Give them that inspiration. Give them, Akinde and Malcolm going to share their journey with these athletes, inspire them, motivate them. So it's something that we do every year as part of our camp, a mentorship program where we visit 2 schools during the camp period.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Lincoln Toro Deputy, Rudian's partner in Toronto, is saying, Mr. Bascom, before the program ends,
Yeah.
I expect you to congratulate the Canadian SGA, the 2025 MVP of the NBA. Okay?
Yeah.
He's a Canadian. I understand he's a Canadian.
Yeah.
So I started with Akinde, a wrap now on summarizing on your expectation for those who probably joined late, what we can expect of you in Panola in your hopefully your final year, and looking forward to you probably, whether it's Indiana, Duke, Kentucky, whoever it is, come 2026. You're muted. Yeah. Right. Go ahead.
For me, it'll always be the same, to be able to stay locked in and focus on the journey ahead, and always remember that the journey before, where I came from, how much it took to get to this point. I mean, for me, you could always expect me to go out there and do my best. One of my favorite sayings that my grandmother told me when I was younger, that the first time I traveled for sports, was that only your best will be good enough. And I think that's also where my confidence comes from, that as long as I practice enough and I train hard enough, I will always be able to do my best, and that'll be good enough. In terms of the camp, I'm just excited to be here. Again, I said it's a full circle for me, so it's amazing to see that, to always see that the Kellon Baptiste always putting in work and keeping up with their promises. I always like to extend how much I appreciate the amount of work they put in, especially in collaborations with different schools and different sporting activities to get us ready for the next level. For Panola, I just can't wait to get to work this summer. I took a 2 weeks break. The luxury that Enel didn't have, because he have to go right away. But I took a 2 weeks, and I'm starting on Monday. The Kellon Baptiste Foundation already got my gym back for me on the stretch, so that I could go on mornings and stay ready for my opportunity. So I just can't wait to get back to Texas, Panola, Carthage, to get to work and hopefully win a region again, and then eventually get to the national championship, and so that we can win and capitalize on the moment that we didn't capitalize on this year.
Right. What's your what will be your playing number at Panola?
It'll remain 12.
12. Okay. 12. All right. We'll have to remember that. And Enel, your opportunity now to summarize, give us a wrap on expectations, everything like that. So.
Well, I mean, I just want to for sure
All right. Go ahead.
I just want to,
let me see. It may be. All right. Try now. Yeah, I think I have something feedback on your end. Yeah, the volume on something there. Yeah, let's go now.
Is that better?
Yeah.
All right. I just want to, show gratitude and give thanks to the Lord who got me here. He kept us safe. He actually brought me and Karen together by faith. And I just want to always show thanks to the Lord above for that. My expectations for this year for myself is to be able to stay ready, and just being able to, as Kinde said, capitalize on all the opportunities that come before me, whether it be on the court or off the court, and just being able to put my best foot forward at all times. I try to be a type of person that strive towards their goal, stick to it, and stick to it, and just head down and keep moving forward. Even on the court, you see that in my game. Even when I'm tired, I try to never give up, and I hope to be able to do that throughout my life, throughout the year, and obviously I want to do that next week for the camp to be able to motivate those guys and help them see a sense of reason and purpose in what they're doing, and have the idea that what they're doing right now, the work that they're putting in, all the effort and all that is not in vain. And I just want me and Akinde to be examples of that for them, and for others coming forward. And I just want to also extend my gratitude to the Kellon Baptiste Foundation Inc. for giving me the opportunity and helping me to capitalize on those opportunities as well. And just being able to guide me, being able to treat me like, a family member, and just show me the ways to go about things the right way, to stay grounded, to stay rooted in what I do as a Grenadian for one, and as a person in St. Bernard, and as a player. They ensure that I'm straight off the court, on the court, whether I'm here, whether I'm abroad, whichever country I'm at, they take care of everything that I need to take care of. As Kinde said, our gym is set up. We're going to be working, and just staying ready for all the opportunities that come forward. Just look forward to it. Look forward to Missouri Valley, the Indiana State Sycamores, and I'm looking forward to see Panola College play basketball this year as well too. I'm definitely going to be watching the games and supporting Akinde from Indiana as well. So that's pretty much it. And also want to say thank you to you too, Mr. Bascom, for what you do for Grenadian sports as well. You are one of the heads of sports here. You extend the olive branch to a lot of athletes, a lot of organizations, and just sporting disciplines in general. And I want to say, as an athlete, I'm grateful for what you do, and as a person as well, as a Grenadian, I'm happy for the initiative that you've taken to express and showcase Grenadian talents on your platform. And I think you should also give yourself a pat on the back for what you do as well.
Yeah, thank you very much on behalf of Rudy and myself. Things like what you all are doing are certainly motivating us, and we'll continue to do it. Thank you very much, and we look forward to a lot from you folks. Kyron, yes,
Yes, man, you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Yeah.
You hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
I meant to mention one of the guys who are here at the camp this year, a very good friend of mine. We played together. His name is Kellon Christopher. He came all the way from California. I don't know if you remember Kellon Christopher. He came all the way from California. He went on a scholarship.
Yeah,
he went on a scholarship back in the 90s, along with Johnny Jackson. So he's here on the island to help us run the camp. He was there last year also. He has committed again this year. So I really appreciate Kimon's commitment and readiness to help these young athletes in the camp. So I just want to say thanks to him once again.
Yeah, Kimon
Christopher.
I'm saying that Kimon's mom and I, we worked together. Remember Kimon's mom? Yeah, she worked at was Radio Grenada at the time. Grenada. Yeah, the late Rila Christopher, right? Yeah, that's Kimon's mom. Yeah. So thank you very much, folks. Always a pleasure, and certainly it won't be the last time. We'll be following your progress. I think I'm so much impressed with you folks and the way you're all speaking that I'm sort of excited in terms of at some point in time, Rudian, we could get those guys probably giving us a little feedback in terms of how things are going in the season and things like that, because I'm feeling sort of excited that the level of confidence that these guys can hold up on their own and have a conversation and speak and, good public speaking. That's what we expecting of our sporting ambassadors, right? And I think you all folks are right where we want you all to be. Continue doing what you're doing, and certainly you can get the support from us. We will be following, but we always get the information from Kyron. So once we get it, we'll be making it known that what's happening with you guys. Now we'll have to be split between what happened with Panola, what happened with Indiana, things like that. So we'll have to do a lot of following. So I want to thank you very much, folks. Enel and Akinde, all the best to you, as well as Kyron and the foundation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay then, all the best. Right. Yep. Yep. So, folks, that's Akinde Redhead and Enel Senbernard. It is interesting, Rudian, that those guys started introducing themselves, and then we saw a rivalry. SAS and GBSS came up. I wonder if our good friend Toro missed that. If he missed that, I am excited, about
definitely.
what the foundation is doing, and what they have done so far, and what they plan to do. And it's so interesting that he mentioned that, and I think it's not the first time I heard about this female basketballer from Panola College. He said, her name is Diamond, I think.
I keep my name of my
Diamond. And what is interesting is that they have identified. She expressed unwillingness, and she's prepared to work towards that. They're working with her. They assign her a coach. I know Mr. Paul McIntyre, a very good coach, and I'm hoping that what is happening there will inspire others, right? To and even parents and things to, hey,
So yeah, definitely.
to support those kids,
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
express an interest, give them the necessary support.
You give them the necessary support. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mentioned Paul McIntyre. That is Paul McIntyre. Palos McIntyre. He has it as there. Good afternoon to you, Paul. Good afternoon to Pablo, as we say. And thank you very much. We heard about this basketballer that you will be guiding, and hopefully we will hear good things about her and others.
Yeah.
Her and others. In fact, we had Paul McIntyre a few months ago. You remember when we got the whole expose on basketball and what's happening in basketball?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
Paul McIntyre who gave us that. He says he's I'm looking and listening, and I want to thank you very much, Paul, for all that you have been doing in terms of basketball for Grenada, even when you were an official. When you were an administrator, and now you're doing a lot of behind the scenes thing. You were working along with the Kellon Baptiste Foundation, and certainly that is what we want to see, because what is interesting about that, is that Paul was a president, a former president, whatever, and whatever happened, these are things where he could have just decided, hey, I had enough. Even when you're not treated well, and just turn his back and go, right?
And walk away.
But as he said, and walk away. But as he said, it was all about the development of the basketballers. Right? So he stuck around, and look what he's doing now. He's walking along with them, right?
Yeah.
He says 42 years into it, 42 years of basketball playing and probably playing, coaching, administration, whatever it is. Patrice says, awesome. I love what I'm hearing. Support them 100%. I love basketball myself. I think all of us have an interest in basketball, and when basketball is playing, and we have a team, and all of that. I know. I think someone told me earlier about New York. It was Gordon Bodie Julian was saying, my New York Knicks needs your prayers, Michael. Good day to you, guys. Yeah.
I don't know about that no more. They really go down to nothing.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm sorry. I was rooting for New York all the way.
I still believe. I still believe they can.
I'm sorry, Michael. I don't think so, Michael. I don't think so.
You never know.
Listen, if you lose 2 games in your home against the team, the team is going to their home. It is hard to beat the team in their home. It is really tough, and so suddenly, but basketball, the points that win the game, not the players. The team with the most points that win. So let's see what happens. Yeah.
All right, folks. That's all for this weekend's program. I'm not sure if we have a program next Saturday because it's my travel day again. Traveling again on Saturday, so I'll let you know. But always a pleasure having you, and
it's always good.
I think this weekend, Rudy, and we have a lot of.
And then the following week is championship, so I'm gonna be on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's high school championship for me. So,
not only that, I'm telling you, even this weekend. In fact, we have Diamond League tomorrow, and we have this. I think we have regionals this weekend, right?
Yeah,
NCAA
regionals. Yeah,
right, this weekend. And then next weekend we get so we'll have to monitor, right?
I'll talk to you because the following week for sure, the first weekend of July is high school championship here. So for sure the Saturday for me but we'll figure it out. Maybe if you have a show, I'll put you on and so you could see the live in terms of what's happening. So yeah.
All right, then. All the best.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, then. Have a good one. All right, then.
Yeah. All right, then. That's Rudy and Sylvan, my co-host in Toronto, and Paul. I've seen Palos. He said, "I'm proud of Enel and Akinde. We all are proud of those guys. They're doing well, and thank you very much." Pablo, thank you to Kyron, thank you to Kenroy and all the others of the foundation. Yes, good afternoon to you, Kimon. And Kimon is saying thank you for highlighting those two young men. Hopefully we can bring basketball back to the prominence it was in Grenada. Yeah, The days when you and Johnny and others were playing basketball, and we had very competitive teams. We had a senior team, we had a junior team, senior national team, junior national team. They were playing basketball, very competitive, very good basketball. Hopefully, this, as Kimon is saying, this could inspire others, both boys and girls, and even those at the administrators, to get serious about the sport of basketball, right? Because now we have two young men who are doing very well, and it could be the pathway for others, right? It just means that we have to get our house in order, right? In terms of administration, in terms of basketball programs, in terms of playing basketball, we have to give those young men and women an opportunity to play more basketball. There's not enough basketball even playing at the school level. In fact, we should even have primary school basketball. Let them be competitive. Let them learn even at the primary school level. Just as how we have primary school track and field, we should be having primary school basketball and football and cricket. We have to get the sport. One of the reasons why track and field is so dominant in Grenada now is because of the age group, right? Because of the age group, even cricket to an extent, right? They have the youngsters under 15 and things, but we need them to be playing competitive. We need them to be understanding and learning the sport at that level, playing competitive basketball at the primary school level. So by the time they get into the secondary school, they understand the fundamentals, they understand the basics of the sport. So we need the primary school level is a very important level for development of sports, right? And associations like basketball and others have to start working along and with the ministries of education and sport, and ensuring that they do have competition and they have programs geared at the primary schools. And it should not only be a secondary school basketball tournament, but why not a primary school basketball tournament? That is what we need. Yes, it's called the nursery bed, and it's not just track and field, sports across the board, and basketball could be one, because basketball is a popular sport on television. In fact, more people watch basketball on television than any other sport, probably except for football. And I don't think there is a big crowd watching football as how they will watch basketball. Look at when you have NBA basketball tournaments and how folks are, going around television bars, sports bars, all of these things to look at basketball. It has a big following, and therefore we should be able to translate that into the playing of basketball as well. Because, once upon a time, as I said earlier, basketball was a dominant sport. There were more folks involved in basketball than probably track and field and others, right? But it's the administration call. It's an administration call. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you for being part of the program. Always a pleasure having you. We look forward to you being part of our program in the future. Hopefully, we'll have a program next week. I'm not sure, but as I said, it is a scheduled travel day for me. And therefore, if I'm traveling, it will be around the time of the program. So I'll let you know. Until then, I do want you to have a pleasant weekend.